everyone, we welcome you in this webinar series. I'm Yashi Srivastav from Yari Qualitech. We welcome you all in this webinar series and today's topic is Food as per Vedic Way. The guest speaker for today's session is Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar. I would like to just introduce Sir. Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar is convener of United Consciousness Global. He is an internationally acknowledged scholar, academician, writer, trainer, and management consultant. He is an internationally certified NLP practitioner. His area of research is ancient spiritual wisdom and modern living. He has conducted many express talks, EDPs, MDPs on life management and ancient Vedic wisdom for more than 30 countries of the world. As a trainer, he has served Cabinet Minister of State, MLA, Officers of Defense, paramilitary, government, public sector, and MNCs. He is author of 2 books. He is founder director of Project INC USA, board member of European Yoga Federation Italy, Spiritual Council of Africa, also the founder director of Akshara Kids Academy and UMS India. Now I would like to request sir to please start the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yashi, and dear friends. I'm happy to talk today on a very significant topic which has been very elaborately discussed in the scriptures. I'm told to talk about ahar or food. What is the Sanatan Dharma's approach? How does Sanatan Dharma look at food? So, food in Sanatan Dharma is called aharaha. Aharaha is defined as aharati iti aharaha. What you consume is ahar. So let's try to understand what it is, how this complete idea of ahar is comprehended in Sanatan Dharma, and how does it relate to our life and what we can learn from it. So, to begin with, if you see ourselves, what we say as Vikrant, what you call yourself as whatever is your name, who we are, actually, we are food modified. Food is being modified in the form that you can see. Since the evolution, there were 2 basic objectives of any animal on the planet. First, survival. Second, reproduction. Survival depends completely on aharaha, food. When you eat, you survive. And this is how whole evolution takes place. You need food to survive. When you survive, you pass on your genes to next generation. When they go to next generation, and this is how reproduction and everything happens. So food is the basis of evolution. So in jungle, you see deer is the food of lion, grass is the food of deer, and this is a complete food chain. So we all are very much connected in this food chain, and the complete hierarchy is of the food only. The hierarchy, which you call as ecosystem, is of food chain. It's a food chain. We all are so much connected with each other. Like humans, we produce carbon dioxide, which is food for plants. Plants produce oxygen, which is food for human. So ancient rishis, saints and sages could understand this connection that we feed each other, we coexist, we nurture each other, and this is how we coexist. So ancient saints and sages in India, they saw that whole universe is feeding each other. We are providing food to each other. And this feeding each other is called in Sanatan Dharma Yajna. Yajna, as they say. Nurturing others is actually nurturing yourself. When everybody is feeding each other, So if I'm feeding another person, I'm assuring that that person will feed me. If I'm feeding plants, I'm assuring that plants will in turn feed me. So whole universe is feeding each other. And this concept is called yajna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 verse 14 and 15 talk about it. As they say, Brahma Nityam Yagye Pratishthatam. This yajna, this whole universe is doing yajna of feeding each other. And in this yajna, Brahman is established. The, the superior, the ultimate, the divine, the ultimate consciousness, the universal consciousness established in this yajna of feeding each other. So that verse says of Bhagavad Gita that all beings, all food comes, all beings comes from food. So we all beings, all living beings, they depend on food for their survival. So the verse 14, chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita says that from food comes all beings. From rain, food is produced. From sacrifice arises rain. Sacrifice means yajna. From yajna arises rain. And sacrifice or yajna is born of action. Action comes from Brahma, the creator, the creation. And Brahma comes from Brahman, the universal reality, the universal consciousness. Let's understand this. So it says that all beings, we all are nurtured by annam, food, and aharaha. We are nurtured by annam. But from where do we get this food? We get this food. Food comes through rain. No rain, no food. So we depend on rain for food. But from where rain comes? Then Gita says this rain comes by yajna. What is that yajna? Yajna is selfless actions. Who did selfless action? What did we do? Let me ask all of you who are watching me today. What have you personally do to assure that rain should come? Majority of us have done nothing at all. What have you personally done to assure this climate, this weather? Nothing as such. Yes, we have really contributed to an extent to deteriorate this weather or climate, but not to contribute, majority of us. So we have done nothing to assure that rain should come. But something, somewhere, somebody is doing. That's why rain is coming. And why that person or whosoever you call, all that is, whatever you call, whatever name you call, why that being is doing this? Selflessly, karma selflessly. So that is called yajna. By the selfless karma of Brahma, the creator, the creation, assures rain. So rain comes because whole universe is selflessly working. And the creator selflessly assures that rain should come. And this creator comes from the universal reality, universal consciousness, which is called Brahman in Vedas. So whole universe is acting selflessly, as you can see. Whole universe is acting. Whole universe is doing swadharma to feed us. Imagine the comprehensive view of food Sanatan Dharma has seen. That whole universe is acting selflessly to feed you. This air we got free of cost. This water we got free of cost by rain. These things which are five bhutas we got free of cost, just like this. So whole universe is doing swadharma to feed us. And what did we do to deserve this? What have we done to deserve this rain, water, nature, air? Right? The answer you will get is for majority of us, Nothing. We have done nothing to deserve this. And that's why Bhagavad Gita says, chapter 3, verse 11, you need to nourish them, you need to feed them, you need to feed this nature back, and nature will feed you back. You need to feed the higher, higher will feed you back. Because how long you will keep exploiting this nature? One fine day, nature will give up, no more. So you need to feed each other. So this is a greater food cycle. It is a cosmic food cycle which Sanatan Dharma and saints and sages of India have envisaged thousands of years, millenniums before. That there is a cosmic food cycle. And then they says, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, one who enjoys without giving or without feeding or nurturing others is certainly a thief. If you breathe and you have not contributed back to the environment, you are a thief because you are eating without contributing. Assure that you need to contribute because we feed each other, we coexist, we codepend. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12 and 13, also Krishna says, who eat without nourishing others. If you are not feeding others, if you are not supporting others, if you are not nourishing others, the environment, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, if you are not nourishing others, what you are eating is papam. You are eating pap. So ask yourself before you eat anything, what have I done to deserve this? You may get an answer, I have earned this. I worked whole month to get the salary. And from salary, I purchased it. Fine, it's a myopic view. But you purchased it from where? We all got it. From this earth, this planet. What have you contributed to the planet? Think about it. This is what is the comprehensive cosmic view of food. Krishna further adds, one who eats after feeding and nourishing others gets free from all the sins. So eat after nourishing everybody around you, and then you'll be free from all the sins. This is what you call universal responsibility. This is the need of the hour for the planet today, that every human being should take this universal responsibility of nourishing and feeding each other. Ahar, providing ahar to others. Bhagavad Gita adds, chapter 4, verse 24. That's why when you eat food with immense gratitude. Because fine, you're not feeding others, you have not contributed anything, but at least have gratitude for this mother nature, for this air, water, sunlight, which finally culminated into your food. And that's why Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 24 tells us a verse which is in Sanatan Dharma and in India. It is recited before anybody eats in all the ashrams, in all the tapovans. When you eat, you recite this verse. Brahman is the oblation, means arpanam. Whatever I am arpanam in any yajna, when you do any yajna, you do some arpanam. So what the verse is saying, Brahman is the oblation. What, like even eating is a yajna. How you are putting a ahuti in this body of fire. Fire is jatragni. There is a fire in our belly which digests. This fire is called Nachiketa in Vedas, in Upanishads. So this Nachiketa Agni is the fire. This body is the structure of yajna. And whatever you are putting in your mouth is the ahuti. This process is called arpanam. So even this arpanam is Brahman. Why? Because as I told you, this everything is Brahman modified. Brahman created Brahma. Brahma, the creator, created rain. Rain comes as food. Food created me. So I and him are connected. I and him are one. Brahman became Brahma. Brahma became rain. Rain became food. Food became me. So Brahman actually became me. When I eat food, food no longer exists, it becomes me. The food has those water droplets of the rain also. So actually, rain has become me. That food has actually that sunlight also through photosynthesis. So actually, that sunlight also became me. So Brahman is the oblation. Arpanam. The verse says Brahman is the oblation. Brahman is the ghee, melted butter, havi, whatever you are putting, havi. So even that is Brahman. By Brahman is the oblation poured into the fire of Brahman. So who is putting this inside Brahman? Where it is being put? In Brahman. So Brahman is putting Brahman in Brahman, and the process itself is Brahman. And then the verse says, Brahman verily shall be reached by him who always sees Brahman in the action. So if you could see this cosmic activity in mere one grass of one piece of food, you will be elevated to Brahman. So this is how you should eat food. When in every particle of food you can see Brahman, this is how you can elevate it as Brahman. Self-realization comes. And that's why in India, food is called God. And that's why people never waste food. If you are a true Sanatana Dharmi, not a single particle of food you will waste, because we should not waste Brahman. Food is God. No, this is another way that some of the youngsters call. No, food is God is Sanatan Dharma. And some of the youngsters say God is food. So it's not that God is food. Actually, food is God. Fine. There is nothing that in Shatpat Brahman it says, another from Vedic tradition it says, when the universe was created, so it's a small story but beautiful, small anecdote. When the creator created this world, then there was nothing to eat. When there was nothing to eat, so the Prajapati decided and he offered himself as food. So Prajapati himself became food, Shatpat Brahman says. It is a way of saying it. Even science agrees that we change his form. It's just the change of form. Prajapati himself became food. Soon the metabolic process of universe, the cosmic metamorphosis became food. So then the whole metabolism in universe started. So this is what is how Vedas see food, this comprehensive cosmic view of food. But other than food, there is very important thing that has contributed in evolution of what we are today. It is Agni, fire. That's why Rig Veda, which is the principal Veda, huge Veda, one of the greatest scriptures of the world. Rig Veda's first mandal, first adhyay, first sutra, the first word itself of Rig Veda starts with Om Agni. It invokes Agni. Food and Agni go hand in hand. Why Rig Veda starts with Agni? Our saints and seers were so visionaries. They could understand the contribution of fire in human evolution. Thousands of years before evolutionary psychology as a subject came into existence. So, evolution, our saints and seers saw as actually food revolution. So, this is what is evolution for them. What do I mean by when I say evolution is actually food revolution? Look, fire. When human beings controlled fire, what we exactly did with fire? Again, that survival instinct. It helped us to survive. And second, we started cooking food for the first time in fire. What happens when you cook food? it becomes soft. What happens when it becomes soft? It carries little bit more nutrition. I'm talking about the animals that they used to cook that time. So it had more nutrition. And then it became easy to chew. Earlier, before fire, human has to chew the food for around 6 hours daily. Imagine your life chewing your food for 6 hours. What is left in your day then? Two times you eat. Hours and hours, whole day will go in chewing. But then, because of this fire, it could be done in 1 hour. So on daily basis, we got 5 hours free. And this free time and added nutrition contributed in our brain to grow qualitatively and quantitatively both. You all know that our brain has grown bigger physically also and intellectually also. So we got bigger brain, and that bigger brain made us the head of the food chain because we got bigger brain. We are more intelligent. But then, and this is how we evolved as Homo erectus. We became Homo erectus, big with bigger brain. But this bigger brain brought a challenge also. In uterus, a bigger brain, it is difficult to give birth, isn't it? And that's why we are the only animal in the world who requires assistance and help while giving birth. And that need of assistance and help forced us to make society. We need language. We need empathy. We need sharing. And this is what you call as civilization, where there is empathy, sharing language. So see how food and fire have contributed in making this civilization what we are today. This is the Vedic perspective. That's why they gave huge importance to Agni. Because Agni converted us into Homo erectus and later on Homo sapiens. And that's why Rig Veda starts with Agni. Later on, formal farming started. We had to stay at a place for long. Then it stopped our nomadic lives to an extent. We formed society. Society got converted into real civilizations, villages, states, nation, and today modern world. Homo sapiens, what we are today. So lots of verses in Vedas are dedicated only for food. Lots of verses. They talk about ghee. They talk about milk. They talk about paddy. They talk about barley. So Atharved says that dhan and jaw should be for your welfare. It should nourish you. And there are many verses that talks about the importance of food in Vedas. So this is one aspect of my talk today. What is the conception of food in Vedas and Indian scriptures, ancient Indian scriptures? Now this universe as a whole, existence as a whole, is also associated with food in Vedic perspective. It says that there are 5 Mahabhutas in the beginning. Vedas say this. From those 5 Mahabhutas, whole modification came into existence. So first is called Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha, food modified. The first shelf of existence was food. The physical body of the universe, the gross body, the mineral kingdom, as they say. Fine. And then second was Pranamaya Kosha. Body plus prana, the plant kingdom, you may say. Third is Manomaya Kosha. Look, prana has body also and prana has, plants has body also and prana also. So the plants have two shields. Annamaya, food, and food generated prana. No food, no prana. It's that simple. So with food, prana came into existence. Pranamaya kosha. Second shield. We have energy body. Hmm? Then, like for example, when you eat food, when you consume food, what happens to your energy level? Either you feel energetic, or you feel dull. Whatever you feel, energetic or dull, it is pranamaya kosha. Then third is manomaya kosha. So body plus prana, and now mind is started developing. It is called animal kingdom. It has mana, mind, animal instincts. They work with instincts. So what instincts you have? Your feelings. Are you feeling depressed or aggressive? Or are you feeling positive, supportive, forgiving? It is your manomaya kosha right now. In relationship, it works a lot. Then fourth is vijnanamaya kosha. We again evolved from food to prana, prana to mind, mind to intelligence. So body, prana, mind, and intelligence makes it human kingdom. Human intelligence, thoughts. Do you have destructive, violent thoughts, or you have creative, constructive, intuitive thoughts? So this is the fourth shield. And the fifth shield of development is called Anandamaya Kosha. Body, prana, mind, intelligence, we all have. But bliss, rarely we have. So some of us, they are enlightened. They feel blissed. Some of us are not. They feel sleepy, dull. So scripture says, what you consume, what you eat, will decide whether you feel dull or energetic. At pranamaya, that pranamaya kosha. Fine. So your annamaya kosha will decide the quality of your pranamaya kosha. What you eat will decide whether you will feel depressed or positive. It also will decide your manomaya kosha. What you eat will decide your vijnanmaya thoughts, whether you feel violent or creative. What you eat will decide whether you will feel sleepy or elevated, anandamaya kosha. And that's why in Sanatan Dharma, there is a concept of Purushartha. Pur means the body, the city with five shields, five layered city is Pur plus Isha. Ish means where God resides. Purusha plus Artha means achieving self. So it is the objective of every human being to realize self, go beyond these five shields. And how to go? The journey begins with Annam. It is said, what you eat becomes your mind. Chandogya Upanishad 6.5.1 says, whatever you eat, the gross particle becomes the waste matter, mala. Whatever you eat, the gross becomes mala. The middle ones becomes flesh, masa. And the finest of it becomes mana, mind. So what you eat makes your mind, says Vedas. So the thoughts and the emotions with you make and present the food to others. What you are doing is actually you are injecting intravenous injection to everybody, because food carries the memory. So the feeling with which you are cooking food, the feeling with which you are serving food, you'll see that it will start reflecting in the thoughts, in the energy level, in the feelings, in the physical structure of people around you. Food from the market converts into waste and flesh maximum. But food cooked at home nourishes the mind. Chandogya Upanishad says 7.26.2 Ahar Shuddha Sattva Shuddhi Sattva Shuddha Dhruva Smritihi Smriti Labdhe Sarva Granthinam Vipra Moksha, and it takes you towards moksha. When you eat what is Shuddha, made with Shuddha Mana, it makes your Mana Shuddha. When your Mana is stable and peaceful, stable and clear, then Shuddha Smriti it becomes. then you can memorize your true self, your true being, your true nature. And then it releases you from all the knots of the heart and you get moksha, says Chandogya Upanishad. So it starts with the food. It's a journey from food to moksha. Then the question comes, which kind of food should I take? And then there is a complete science for it. The question is like this: what kind of clothes should I wear? Simply depends on your body type and the purpose for which you are wearing this cloth, and to an extent the climate in which you are wearing. Similarly, what kind of food you should eat depends on your body type, climate, and the purpose for which you are eating. Ayurveda is a complete science. Ayur means age. Veda, the portion of Veda that helps us to know how to achieve health and age. Ayurveda says that the five Mahabhutas, they intermingled to create three types of personalities or personality disorders, if you say. They are called three dosha. Earth and water together made kapha personality. Air and space together made vata personality. And fire made pitta. We all have all the elements, but the dominant element will decide our personality. Vat, air and space, pit, fire, kaph, earth and water. These five elements mix to make us. And these three doshas, we all have these three doshas. We all have this at the time of fertilization of human beings. When we were born, we are born with these three doshas. Doshas means limitations, weaknesses, adulterations. These three doshas, they mix together in a unique way, which determines a distinctive quality of our mind and body. So this Vat, Kaph and Pith, if they are balanced, then it is called health, as per Ayurveda. If Vat, Kaph and Pith are not balanced, it is called disease, dullness. So what you call health is what? It is the balance of this Vat, Kaph and Pith. And what you call as disease, it is this balance. So even looking at a body type, you can know whether this person is Vat type, Pith type, or Kaph type. Fine. Even temperament. Vat people have low tolerance to pain and noise. They at times are indecisive, fearful, and their positive virtues are they are introspective, perceptive, very much disciplined. Vat people. The body frame is thin, tall, or very short. Pitta people, they are hot in temperament, irritable, self-centered, acidic, alert, but at the same time they are adaptable, intelligent, and bright. So this is Pitta. Their build is medium built, well-shaped, athletic they are. Kapha, third. They're heavy built, strong, overweight at times. They're stable, narrow-minded, stubborn, neglectful. I'm generalizing it. Not everybody is like this, but on an average, by and large. Fine. And they are calm, forgiving, contemplative, and nurturing. So this makes our personality. So Ayurveda says, let the food be the medicine and the medicine be the food. Eat food. First know which dosha type you are and then eat food accordingly. And the complete science is called Ayurveda, where it tells you which type you are and what should you eat. Fine. Bhagavad Gita also talks about, in Gita, Krishna tells, chapter 17, verse 7, everybody should eat. Everybody eats according to his own character. So there are three types of food, Bhagavad Gita says. Krishna says, sattvic food. Food which provides vitality, intelligence, strength, health, cheerfulness, joy. It is called sattvic food. Which are sattvic foods? Krishna decides. Krishna elaborates, says that food with, chapter 17, verse 8, food which is rasayukta, savory, greasy, firm, which touches your heart, because texture of food makes your texture of thoughts. And that's why Krishna elaborates a lot about this, even talks about the Rajasic foods. Not only this Rajasic food, which are bitter, sour, saltish, very hot, pungent, harsh, These are Rajasic foods. So then when you taste, when for you taste matter than the health, then it becomes this. Rasic food may make you passionate for a while, but overall it makes you dull. It takes away your pranic energy. Third is tamasic food. Tamasic food is a food which, when you consume, after 3 hours of its preparation, it becomes tamasic, dull, tasteless, something which has smell. Fruits get digested in around 1 to 3 hours, are good. But when you eat something which takes lots of time to digest, they are tamasic food. Leftover food, these are tamasic foods. When you drink coffee after 3 p.m., it is tamasic. And it increases your Madhya Pradesh. People gain weight. So what to do? Three things. First, understand which food is good for you intellectually. Second step, take a sankalpa at your mind. I will take only sattvic food. Third, gradually start moving towards sattvic because a wall is made by bricks. Otherwise, at the culmination of success, you will find your body is not with you. What happened to Steve Jobs? When he was most successful, he had to leave this body. And he was really very upset about it. In his last writing, he talks about it. So we need to assure that when we are most successful in life, at least we should have body to enjoy that success. Now, next question is how much to eat? Scripture says half of the stomach should be filled by food, one fourth should remain filled by water, and one fourth should be with air. It means never eat full stomach, only half of the stomach. This is the quantity. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, verse 17, chapter 6, Yuktahar viharasya, yukta chestasya karmashu, yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. Yoga destroys the sorrow of the people who are disciplined in food and recreation. Be disciplined in your food. Who are balanced in action, in sleep, and in waking. So we need to assure that we should not eat too much or too little. Verse 16, chapter 6 says, Atish ashrataha, one who eats a lot. Ekantaram anashrataha, one who does not eat at all. They both are not fit. So, what kind of food should you take? Assure that food which is made with love will always taste different from the food which is made with spices. And how should I eat? Whatever you eat with happiness is health, and whatever you eat with distress is disease. So let's conclude what we discussed. We started our journey talking about aharati iti aharaha. We understood that the Vedic conception of whole evolution, the sages understood that it is for survival, and they understood this, that it is the cosmic yagna that is taking place, which is feeding each other. And that's why we should also feed others so that others will feed us. And this is how a yagna will continue. And that's why we should be very grateful when we eat. And that's why we should understand, and we should eat with a feeling that Brahman, I am eating. Brahman is putting food in Brahman with the hand, with the Brahman. And this is how we can elevate, because food itself is God. Food is Prajapati, said Vedas and Shatpat Brahman. The Rig Veda starts with fire to understand this. Fire is something which made us actually Homo erectus and Homo sapiens in later. And that's why lots of verses in the Vedas are there on food and fire. Srashti Parikalpana and Ahara, 5 koshas, they get vitalized by Annamaya kosha only. And this is why what we eat becomes mala, masa, and mana. And that's why we need to eat with right mana, and it should be cooked with right mana, because Shuddha Ahar makes Shuddha mana, and Shuddha mana makes Shuddha Smriti. Shuddha Smriti liberates. So food becomes a medium of liberation. What kind of food we should eat depends on your body type, Vat, Pith, and Kapha. It is modification of Panchamahabhutas. When they are balanced, it is called health. When they are not balanced, it is called disease. Know your type and then eat accordingly. Krishna talks about 3 types of food: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Sattvic food will help us to liberate, elevate, and gain health. Rasic and tamasic food are not suggestible. They create passion and unnecessary running and dullness in life. How to eat? Half of the stomach with food, rest half should be with water and air. We should be balanced in our eating, not too much, not too little, and whatever is made with love, eat it and eat it with complete happiness. This is what is the science of food in Vedas. Thank you very much. Namaste.